Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping into E.M. Forster's classic novel, A Room with a View, which is, at its core, a story all about waking up to who you really are. You know, this whole story is really about those moments, the ones that just shatter the lives we've so carefully built for ourselves. These completely unexpected, passionate moments that force us to stop and ask, wait, who am I really? And who do I actually want to be? Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in Florence, Italy, in this very proper, very English little hotel. We meet our main character, a young woman named Lucy Honeychurch, and she's traveling with her older cousin and chaperone, Charlotte Bartlett, who is, well, let's just say she's extremely rigid. And right off the bat, they hit a snag. The rooms they were promised, the ones with that beautiful view of the Arno River, are gone. Instead, they're stuck looking out at a plain old courtyard. And that little problem, right there, is basically the whole ballgame. The entire novel is built around this one powerful metaphor. Just think about it. The room is everything Lucy knows. It's the stuffy, rule-bound Edwardian society she comes from. But the view, the view is the promise of something more. It's passion, it's truth, it's living a life that's actually real. And this isn't just a clever plot device. It really captures the feeling of that era, that rebellion against the stiff, predictable Victorian way of life. You can see this conflict perfectly in the people Lucy meets. On one side, you have her cousin Charlotte, who is the walking, talking embodiment of that repressed, proper society. And on the other side, you've got the Emersons. They're a father and son, and everyone else thinks they're a bit ill-bred. And why is that? Well, it's because they actually say what they think, and they value truth over stuffy manners. So that very first night at dinner, Mr. Emerson overhears the ladies complaining about their rooms. And without a second thought, he makes this shockingly direct offer to just swap rooms. Now, in their world, this was a huge social foul. It just wasn't done. Charlotte is absolutely horrified, but for Lucy, this is the first little crack in the wall of her very predictable world. And with that one little offer, the vibrant, unpredictable spirit of Italy starts to work its magic on Lucy. It begins to challenge that prim and proper Englishness she's been taught her entire life. This awakening then gets kicked into high gear by two, frankly, shocking events. First, Lucy is in a public square when she witnesses a man get stabbed to death. She faints from the shock, and who's there to catch her? George Emerson. Then, a little while later, during a group trip to the countryside, George gets completely overwhelmed by the beauty of this field of violets, and he suddenly kisses her. But bam! The second this new, passionate world opens up to her, her chaperone Charlotte appears, yanking her right back to the reality of the room. She immediately packs Lucy's bags, whisks her away to Rome, and makes her promise to never, ever speak of that kiss again. Just like that, the view is shut away. So now we're back in the safety of Surrey, England. And Lucy, well, she tries her best to just forget Italy ever happened. She retreats right back into the life everyone expects her to live, shutting the door on all those feelings that were awakened. And a big part of that is getting engaged to a man named Cecil Vyse. Now, on paper, Cecil is the perfect match. He's wealthy, he's intellectual, and he's the absolute pinnacle of high society. He's also completely and utterly passionless. He is, in every way, a man of the room. And you don't just have to take my word for it. Cecil basically says it himself. He tells Lucy that he thinks of her not as a person, but as a beautiful piece of art to be kept indoors. He literally says he connects her with a room that has no view. I mean, it perfectly shows you that his role is to keep her locked away from her true self. But just when it seems like Lucy is safely settled into her respectable, viewless life, her Italian past comes crashing right back into her English present. And you won't believe how it happens. In this amazing twist of fate, and the ironic part is that Cecil himself accidentally sets it in motion. The Emersons move into a villa right in Lucy's neighborhood. The view has come to her. So this is where it all comes to a head. George sees her again, and he kisses her a second time. And this time, the emotion is just undeniable. It's so powerful that it actually forces Lucy to break off her engagement to Cecil. But, and this is a huge but, she's terrified of the scandal and of her own feelings. So she lies to everyone, including herself, about the real reason why. Now she's caught in this spiral of her own making. So what should she do? Should she go back to Cecil? It's the safe, respectable, passionless choice. It's the room. Or should she tell the truth, admit her feelings for George Emerson, a man her society says is beneath her, and just face the consequences? Should she embrace the view? While there's always a third option, isn't there? Just run. So she decides to escape it all by planning a trip to Greece, basically avoiding the decision entirely. But with her escape plan all set, one final chance encounter is about to force Lucy to stop running from herself and finally confront the truth head-on. She runs into George's father, Mr. Emerson, and he sees right through all her lies. He confronts her with this incredibly powerful plea, just begging her to be honest with herself, to choose passion and truth over the cold, empty rules that are making her so miserable. And his words work. They're the final key that unlocks everything Lucy has been bottling up. She cancels her trip to Greece, and she finally admits to herself and to the world that she is in love with George Emerson. And so, the whole story comes full circle. We end exactly where we began, in Florence, at the Pension Bertolini. But this time, Lucy is married to George, and they are together, finally, in the room with the view. You know, Forster's novel isn't just about Lucy Honeychurch. It's a timeless story about the courage it takes to break free from what everyone else expects you to be, and to choose a life that's actually authentic. It really leaves us with a question, doesn't it? If a view is about seeing the world and ourselves truthfully, what are the conventions, the fears, the rooms that get in the way of our own?